In the 12th month after arriving in Medina, Muhammad himself initiated jihad in Islam by leading a raiding party to Wadan, also called Raid of al-Abwa. This intent was to attack and plunder a Meccan caravan returning from Syria, which was missed. The caravan belonging to the pagan tribe of al-Damri fell on his way, which was attacked. Minor skirmishes took place with neither side winning the encounter, and a peace deal reached. Islam's first jihad raid party, headed by its prophet, returned home empty-handed. Muhammad soon sent another big raiding party of 60 to 80 fighters, all of them Meccan emigrants, led by Ubaidah bi al-Harith, to attack a Meccan caravan. The jihadi raiders went as far as water in the Hijaz below Tan Lealtul Mura, where they encountered a large number of Quraysh. Scared of the large Meccan force accompanying the caravan, the jihadi raiders retreated, forming a rearguard. From the rearguard, jihadi Sa'd bi Abu Waqqas shot arrows at the Meccans, the first arrows shot in Islam. Sa'd wrote of his bravery, "Has the news reached the apostles of God what I protected my companions with my arrows? No archer who shoots an arrow at the enemy will be counted before me, O apostle of God." Thus, the second attempted jihad raid also failed. Meanwhile, the Prophet of Islam sent his uncle Hamza with 30 fighters, all of them Meccan emigrants, on another raiding mission. They reached the seashore near Al-Is, where they met a Meccan caravan led by Abu Jahal and protected by a large band of 300 riders. The jihadi raiders were able to escape unscathed thanks to intervention by a local leader. Another attempted jihad mission failed. With repeated failure of his jihad missions, Muhammad himself led the next raid against a Meccan caravan. Ibn Ishaq writes, "Then the apostle went raiding in the month of Rabi'ul Awal, making for Quraysh, until he reached Buat in the neighborhood of Radwa. Apparently, the caravan was missed, and the Prophet returned home empty-handed again." Muhammad soon led another jihad raid himself in pursuit of a Meccan caravan. The raiding party apparently lost its way and wandered across the sandy desert for more than a month. At last, it reached Al-Ushaira in the valley of Yanbu. The targeted Meccan caravan was nowhere to be seen. The Prophet returned to Medina empty-handed. Prophet Muhammad then sent Sa'd bi Abu Waqqas to lead his second jihad raid, accompanied by 8 raiders, all of them Meccan emigrants. He went as far as Al-Qarar in the Hijaz. Then he returned without fighting. So, until this point, the Holy Prophet of Islam, who received regular communication and guidance from the Almighty Allah through Angel Gabriel, undertook at least 6 recorded jihad missions, hoping to plunder Meccan caravans returning with supplies from Syria. The Prophet himself had led 3 of those missions, but all of them failed. In January 624 AD, about 18 months after arriving in Medina, Prophet Muhammad sent his cousin Abdullah bin Jahsh with 8 or 12 raiders, all of them Meccan emigrants. Muhammad handed a letter to Abdullah, ordering him to open it after 2 days of journey. When Abdullah opened the letter, it read, "When you have read this letter of mine, proceed until you reach Nakhla between Mecca and Al-Taif. Lie in wait there for Quraysh." Abdullah informed the members of his party what the Prophet had ordered and said, "If anyone wishes for martyrdom, let him go forward, and he who does not, let him go back. As for me, I am going on as the Prophet has ordered." They traveled for 9 days to reach Nakhla, just 2 days' journey away from Mecca. There they spotted a Meccan caravan, loaded with dry raisins and other merchandise, protected by 4 persons only. Seeing the party of Abdullah from a short distance, they felt scared. Not to scare the caravan away, Abdullah's accomplice Ukasha, who had shaved his head, came forward. Seeing bald-headed Ukasha, they felt safe and said, "They are pilgrims, you have nothing to fear from them." It was the season of performing Umrah at the Kaaba temple, during which pilgrims shaved their heads. Ibn Ishaq records, "The raiders took counsel among themselves and decided to kill as many of them as they could and take what they had. As the caravan came within reach, the jihadi raiders attacked it, killing 1 attendee and capturing 2, with another able to flee. Abdullah kept 1/5 of the goods of the caravan for Prophet Muhammad, dividing the rest among members of his raiding accomplices, and brought the 2 captives to Medina. When they returned to Medina, records Ibn Ishaq, their Muslim brethren reproached them for what they had done, and the Quraysh said, "Muhammad and his companions have violated the sacred month, shed blood therein, taken booty, and captured men." The month of Rajab was very sacred for the Arabs, when Umrah, the second most important religious ritual in Arabia, was observed. Fighting, bloodshed, and looting during this holy month was considered blasphemous. The Arabs, even many Muslims, raised outcry of condemnation at this flagrant violation of the sanctity of the sacred month. The Jews of Medina portrayed the sacred month violence and bloodshed as an omen of impending danger, which Muhammad had brought upon the people of Medina. Greatly perturbed, Muhammad initially placed the blame on the raiders who took part and refused to take the 20% share of the booty reserved for him. Ibn Ishaq writes, "When the apostle said that, the men were in despair and thought that they were doomed." When everybody, including Muslims, were condemning the barbaric act, the Islamic God came to Muhammad's rescue by revealing verse 2:17 to justify it. "They will ask you about the sacred month and war in it. Say war therein is a serious matter, but keeping people from the way of God and disbelieving in Him, and in the sacred mosque, and driving out His people therefrom is more serious with God, and seduction is worse than killing. And they will not cease to fight you until they turn you back from your religion if they can." According to Ibn Ishaq, the Islamic God relieved Muslims of their anxiety regarding the widely condemned sacred month bloodshed by revealing this verse. Prophet Muhammad then happily took the 1/5 portion of the booty and ransomed the 2 captives to raise more money. And to make the culprit raiders completely at ease and free of any guilty feeling, Allah sent down the next verse of the Quran. "Those who believe and have emigrated and fought in the way of God, these may hope for God's mercy, for God is forgiving, merciful." With the successful and economically enriching jihad raid at Nakhla, there started Islam's Jihad Unlimited, a mission of aggressive attack, bloodshed, and plundering the infidels of the Arab Peninsula and beyond.